Welcome to the CEO Crowd Show. I'm your host and coach, Rebecca Nesbitt, and today we're talking about outreach. Some people will call this lead gen, and I just want to share that I feel like lead generation is more about everything that you do to pull someone into your world. This includes attraction marketing, your own posts, stories, podcast, YouTube, ads if you're into that, you name it. I feel like lead generation is the entire process. We are talking about something very specific. So I'm going to stick with the word outreach. It's very much an active part of entrepreneurship where I do believe you can rely on your numbers a lot more than many of the other things I mentioned, maybe not ads, because obviously that gives you your numbers. But for everything else, you could post 100 posts and one could go viral, and then you could post 300 posts for one to go viral. So it's just the math works a little bit more. The math is mathing when it comes to outreach. So if you're feeling stuck right now, you don't have as many clients in the door as you would like, no one's coming to your master classes, then this is for you. So when I first started the CEO Crowd, we were booked out. Like as soon as we launched in April, we were booked out pretty much until January of this year when I decided that in my infinite wisdom that it was a good idea to change our entire process. And we went very much from an outreach model to an attraction marketing model. And what that meant was we had someone doing our lead generation and posting a lot of value posts, and we were sourcing from there, as well as more direct outreach posts that were posts in groups that were kind of calling people into our offer. But it was very much in a group. It was never one to one. And then we also added a marketing team to help us with our funnels, to help us set up some ads. And we got like zero return on that. So I will absolutely take responsibility for my part. When you're going to work with people, do your due diligence for sure. And I do believe that I did that, but I will take the responsibility that there were some things that I could have definitely done better. And such is the learning process of the entrepreneur. So this past month, I just started to feel really demotivated, or not even this past month, probably 2 months ago. I started to feel really demotivated. I was putting in a lot of energy and effort and not really getting the results that I wanted. And it was really, really frustrating. And I thought I can keep doing what I'm doing and getting the same results and hoping that something will pay off, or I can cancel absolutely everything and return to what I know works. And if that works again, then I know that this is the process for me. And lo and behold, it is August 13th. We had a fully booked event yesterday. We have a fully booked event for the end of this month. We then have September has started booking out already. So safe to say it's going well and that this works. So no gatekeeping until the end. What I changed was we had gone to this, like I said, quite cold attraction marketing model. Like no one really knows who I am. Like if you're here, I appreciate that you know who I am. And if you've just found this miraculously, I appreciate that you're here. But no one really knows who I am. I'm not like this huge name in the industry that's been on the stages or on the big podcasts or spoken to the big influencers. I'm just like a small fish. And I think that that cold attraction marketing doesn't really work for the small fish, in my experience. If your experience has been different, please contact me. We've got a lot to talk about. But if you're someone who feels very much like the small fish, then I get it. And instead of doing this cold attraction, which was us posting a lot, I think at one point we were posting like 8 times a week in different groups, and it was just so many posts and getting like crickets or like 1 to 2 messages back. The only things that actually did well was our direct ask post, and we'll talk about aligned offers in a second. It's because we have such a bomb offer, but that was the only thing that really was lucrative for us, and then the follow-up process had fallen through, so there was no follow-up process, so we weren't really keeping up with people, and there were too many, oh my gosh, it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. There were just too many people then to get back to, and we weren't keeping up with the volume, and that was seriously problematic. And that's why we decided to go back to what, or that's why I decided to go back to what I know. And what I know is Facebook groups. I have always converted on Facebook, so I will preface this. I've always converted on Facebook since the dawn of my business. So, my friends, it is not dead. You just have to know where and how to look. And this is what I'm going to teach you today. If you're someone that uses Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, this is probably not for you unless you're looking to get into Facebook. And even with that, I would definitely look for someone who's doing lead gen in a space that you have built up an audience. If you have a big audience and you're seeking to switch, which is actually something that someone told me when this attraction marketing model wasn't working. They said, maybe you're on the wrong platform. And I wasn't on the wrong platform. And I just felt in my soul, I was like, I'm not on the wrong platform because this did work. And it worked like only like 6 months ago. So I can't see how it's not going to work now. Lo and behold, it does work now. So I would say look for someone who's doing it that's working in your space that you have the biggest number of followers, friends, that feels in alignment with you. Like, really do check in with yourself. And if that happens to be Facebook, stick around. And these 3 tips are really going to help you. So the first thing that I do is I look for aligned groups. Aligned groups are really who has a group that is full of your freaking ideal client, that is active and that is full of quality. So, first thing, who are you looking for? Most groups will have an identifier. So, I work with female entrepreneurs. I look for anything that says female entrepreneur, solopreneur, selling, in the title where it's, I think I'm in a group called like Selling Sirens. That's like a spiritual entrepreneur group. Highly recommend, great group. And I look for groups that have this identifier of like solopreneur, mompreneur, because we attract a lot of moms because we have an older demographic. That's what I will say in terms of your platform. I have an older demographic of like 30 to 60 is very much like where I love to do my work because that's who I've attracted. That's the age I am. I'm in my 30s, so it makes sense. And I've always worked with people older than me since I worked in careers when I was like 20, telling 65-year-olds what to do with their career because they'd just been laid off oil and gas and they couldn't afford to like not work, and all the drama I saw when I was very young. So I've always been comfortable working with people older than me. That might not be you. So really do consider that. But when it comes to Facebook, prime real estate for that age group. So I'm thinking about who am I looking for? I've picked my platform based on that as much as I've picked the groups based on that. And then I look for groups that have a decent amount of engagement and that have quality posts. So I'm a part of groups that have 1,000 members, 5 posts a day, absolutely phenomenal. 20,000 members, 50 plus posts a day, amazing. 183 members, hundreds of posts a day, excellent. It's not about the number, and I think that we've all been conditioned to look for a number because you can see that in the statistics of the group. And I actually think that's the wrong way to go because some groups have many posts in a day, and it's actually just like the moderator of that group has scheduled all these posts and has scheduled like 10 a day and then just keeps adding people to the group, and they're not really adding value, but they're in it and they haven't left, and now they've got a lot of numbers but they've got no engagement. So really do look for engagement. So when I say quality, I'm not just talking about quality of posts, I'm talking about quality of engagements. So a quality post would be something that genuinely has value. A lot of people go into these groups, and this is what we were doing with the attraction marketing, is they go into groups, they tell a bit of a story, they give, scripts, they give support, and people then follow you based on that. So we did do that, and it did, oh my gosh, our friend requests are still insane from having done that for such a long time. So there is that. Note on the friend requests, usually those are people trying to sell you something, which is very ironic. But anyway, I digress. So you're looking for groups that have those kinds of posts, groups that have posts that maybe they do have that static background and the wording across them, but they're conversational. So it's not join this Facebook group for visibility and then a link. It's just, the ones. They just look weird. And if you have too many of them in a group, it's not a good choice of group for you. And this is no disrespect to people that run those groups, and they maybe charge people to do that and all the things. Like, you do you, boo, if it is working. But if you are looking for groups, look for posts of quality, and then look at people that have either liked or commented. Is it something that people engage in, or is it something that people just are a part of and they've forgotten about it and no one cares about? Because if there's not a lot of engagement, you're not going to get a lot of engagement from it either. If the person that has started the group and runs the group is not getting engagement, you're not getting it either. So I would just be really conscious of choosing aligned groups. And then once you have found your aligned groups, which can take some time, this is usually what puts people off because they don't want to have to find the groups. But I would say, in my personal experience, taking the time to find these groups or joining programs. We have one of our CEO Crowd members, shout out Maggie Olson, has a course that literally has like, I think it's like 50 or 100 Facebook groups. And she has so much information about when you can promote, what days you can promote, if you can promote, what groups are like good in her opinion for sourcing clients. If you can find someone that has a list like that, oh my gosh, that'll like cut down your time. It'll maybe cost you like $50 and it will be the best investment you'll ever make. Um, or you can pay with your time. It's completely up to you. Like pay with your money or pay with your time is always a choice of entrepreneurship. So once you find these groups, which I know is going to cause like some drama, but you've got this, okay? You're an entrepreneur, you can do hard things. Then you want to go in with an aligned offer. So whenever I'm looking for groups, like I said, I'm always looking for female entrepreneurs. And I work with female entrepreneurs, if you didn't know. And many of the women in these groups that are female entrepreneurs are looking for a space to promote. They're looking to get their business out there. And that's the opportunity we give them with our networking events. Shameless plug, if you want to get your business out there. And networking meets coffee chat is your vibe, then there is a link in the description just for you. Back to the train. You have to think, is this offer actually desirable to people? Do people actually want this? Have people paid for your offer before? Do you have market research to support that people actually want what you have to offer them? And market research that's not just your friends. If it's a freebie that you have, are people actually downloading it or are they not? Because if not, then rework the offer into something that people want. And here's the secret to offers. And I believe that many people that are in the business world, pretty much every single person I've ever listened to has told this secret before, so it's not really a secret anymore. Entrepreneurs solve problems. Your offer just has to solve a problem for that person. And it has to be a problem that is decently painful, probably in the realms of health, wealth, or relationships. That's where you're going to make probably most of your money. And just rework the offer until you find the thing that people actually feel stupid saying no to, like almost like a little Alex Hormozy moment. Like you want an offer so good that people are like, I can't say no to this because it's so good. I saw an offer in the CEO Crowd membership. Shameless plug again, but we quite often will do kind of lookovers of what people are planning in terms of their offers. So they'll drop in what their offer is, what they're thinking, even like syllabus from courses they look to create or memberships they're looking to create, and sales pages. Oh my gosh, I've read so many sales pages for our community just to really support each other and say, like, this is why I would buy it. This is why I wouldn't buy it. This is maybe something that you're saying that could be off-putting. This is something that you're saying that's great and brilliant and I'm laughing and it's amazing. And it's just like extra feedback, extra attention, extra support, because we all need that. And we all think that we're freaking geniuses. I think the same. But then you get it out there and you're like, oh, I didn't notice that part. And it's really helpful to have your friends in it with you. So I was looking over an offer, and one of our women has an offer that I'm like, why am I not in this offer? It's so good. And my question to her genuinely was the price point that she was selling it at, what was her capacity? Because she really had to consider, she was offering one-to-one, really had to consider, is her one-to-one worth just that much on a monthly retainer? How many people can you support at that particular price point, and really look at scalability? So you can have the best offer in the world. You just have to make sure that, it aligns with you and that you could do it. And I think that that is the secret to a great offer, is when someone just feels like, oh my gosh, this is like too good to be true. You have to check this for yourself. I think that actually you're onto something pretty great. So it was a gift to be able to go through her offer, and it'll be coming out soon. And I'm sure she'll come on and talk to you about it. But I will save it for that particular show. And speaking of, is your offer going to burn you out? That's kind of what we're saying here. The third tip that I have for you, once you have found the group, you have the offer, people are genuinely interested, you're getting an uptake of your offer, right? You've gone into the groups, you've seen something that I do quite often is I will look for anything that says summit. If anyone's offering someone to speak on a summit, we gift so many speaking opportunities in our networking group. It is unreal. From Instagram lives to speaking at summits to being a guest on a podcast, we cover it all. And it is a gift to watch people that you know, because I know everyone. It's a gift to watch everyone that you know come together and create something like magical. It's one of the greatest gifts of the CEO crowd. So we do that a lot. So I can look for, if someone's looking for summit speakers, and then I go in and I'm like, who's all in here? And then I look for people that look like my ideal client, in terms of looking like my ideal client looks like you have a decently professional photograph. You can be of any age between kind of 30, 60. You can be of any color, because we are a supportive community. And we tend to steer away from, we kind of are starting to steer away from like Singapore, Thailand, India, Europe, because our time zone for our calls is not good for there. So it doesn't matter what you look like, we're also looking at your time zone. And then we'll look for the banner. If the banner is a professional banner, if someone has gone to the trouble of creating a banner that I'm like, this is a business person. Like, they're serious at this point. It's not just, a picture of them and their family from the holidays, then those are the people that I will absolutely reach out to and offer an opportunity to network with 300 women at this point. Oh my gosh, I'm like, I'm shook. Are you shook? I'm shook. And offer their business and get to know people and find those collaborations and those connections. It's such a gift. So once you have done that, you've got the aligned group, you've got the aligned offer, you're doing your reach outs, you have to think about what's your burnout number. What is your burnout number? So my burnout number for outreach is so low, it's comical. It is 15 a week, right? It used to be 10 a day when I was like in serious build mode and I was like, I need the money, rah, 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 and I hated it. That is why lead generation was one of the first things that I outsourced to my business, because I actually needed 6 months to recover from lead generation from like the past 2 years of my business before then. So it doesn't have to be 10 a day. It's totally dependent on your business goals. There will be a day where I will be doing probably up to 30 a day again, because there will be something going on that I need that volume of eyes on. Okay. But I know that on a standard week, 15 doesn't phase me. It's totally cool. Personally, sustainability is hugely important to me. And I think if you've ever been through burnout, it probably is to you too. And I find this part of my business really challenging. I make it sound really easy, but I find it really challenging. So I took a lot of pressure off of myself to go down to really 3 day, 3 day, 5 days a week. And some days, like Monday this week, I did 10. And I was like, cool, I feel good, because I know that I'm going on vacation at the end of this week. And I know that I want to get that done early so that I can get back to these people by the time I go on vacation. So I'm not leaving anyone for like 4 days with like no response. Okay. So you can change it up, whatever it looks like. But if on a regular week it looks like 3 a day, oh, that feels so good to me. It feels so manageable. If that feels like a lot, if you're someone that's at the beginning, or if you're someone that does find this genuinely challenging, like I do, it takes a lot of my energy, start with one and work up. If you're feeling unsure, one once a week, one every 2 days, one every day. And I'm not talking to you about how to have six figures in 60 minutes. I'm talking to you about sustainable business that you are building, that you don't feel like it has to be all or nothing. We're talking about sustainability. It's a very different way of doing business than most people will tell you. If you're looking for slow growth, that's what people will say. If you're looking for slow growth, do it that way. You know what, Gary Vee, that's cool with me. Like, I'm cool with that because I honor myself and I love doing all the other things that I do. And I am meeting the numbers that I want to meet. And that's what's really important to me. So you have to figure out what's really important to you. But if you're just at the start, choose a small number and work up. If you love it, if you love doing this, go and either be a lead gen assistant and like help someone else out, or do more for yourself. Be on the fast track, honey. Like you go and you do. Like you go, Glen Coco, you go, okay? And these were the kind of overarching tips. But if you do want more on this, then we do have a full visual training. And I know that that can be really helpful seeing the messages. How exactly do you do it? When you find these groups, how do you find the people? I did a whole run through of this in a training called Lead Gen Live. It's a part of our membership now, which you can check out the link to in the description. And you can go and you can get Lead Gen Live and you can dork out on it and you can make your investment back in like a hot second because this training has made me thousands of dollars. So go for it. And it will take you through step by step, whether you're looking for one-to-one clients or you're looking to build a community, because I've done both. So I showed both techniques in that training. And if outreach and lead generation is really getting you down, because I feel that in my soul, oh my gosh, I completely understand. Don't feel stuck and don't feel alone, because you're not. If you are, it's because you haven't hung out with us yet and you need to come to the next networking event, that's for sure, which we know are now booking out super fast. So the link for that is in the description too. And as always, I hope this has been helpful for you. Any questions, like DM me at the CEO Crowd. And if you're on YouTube right now, like drop a comment. I am here for you. And in the meantime, before we meet again next week, I will be over here believing in you.